Okay guys, welcome to Edmodo Basics. Today what I'm going to teach you is all about Edmodo, how to get it started, and how to use it in your classroom. And there's a lot of things happening with Edmodo right now that are very exciting. So this should be a really good session. I am very laid back, so you can just ask questions anytime. All you need to do is either raise your hand. If you look at the top middle section of your screen, you see a little man with his hand raised. If you just click that, I'll see the little man raise his hand, and I can stop and take your question, or I can answer them all at the end, because we will have time at the end to answer questions. My name is Desiree Alexander, aka Educator Alexander, and again today we're going to talk about Edmodo Basics. Please make sure that you sign in. This session is sponsored by AIE. I know a lot of you in here are residents of Advanced Innovative Education, but many of you are not. So if you're interested in becoming certified in educational leadership in the state of Louisiana, this is one of the programs that you can enroll in. Hello, Paula. Hello. We have so many people. Hello. This is one of the programs that you can enroll in. You can see some information on the screen about it, and they are the sponsors of this webinar today. Again, we do have an evaluation at the end. It is very crucial that you fill that out. You don't have to you don't have to type in this URL. You just simply click on evaluation and click on browse to. For those of us just joining us, please make sure that you sign in. I will make an announcement at the end as well. Just click on sign in here to get COU certificate, and then click browse to, and you can sign in. Hey, Sean. Hey, Rebecca. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen so we can get to Edmodo. So everyone, you should be seeing the Edmodo screen at this time. And we are going to go ahead and get started with Edmodo. If you have a question, again, just raise your hand. I should see a little box pop up because I am no longer seeing the Adobe platform. I'm only seeing what you see on your screen. So if you have a question, just raise your hand, or if something happens or you can't hear me or anything like that, just click the little raised hand. Okay, I'm very excited to talk about Edmodo today. It's a really great tool. And what it is pretty much an online platform that you can use for a classroom. You can use to collaborate with your students, your parents, and with other teachers. There's even people that are doing professional development straight on Edmodo now. So the first thing that you would do is you would go to edmodo.com. I had someone earlier put edmondo.com. It's not Edmondo, which I thought was really funny. It made me laugh. It's edmodo.com. And you would come here to where it says create your free account, and you would sign in as a teacher because you will be the teacher. Your students can sign up as a student, and your parents can actually sign up as a parent. If you already have a group code, which I'm going to show you how to get in a second, then they can just come up here to join a group, and they can join your class. So you would go to I am a teacher, and you see how very easy it is to sign in. You simply pick your email address, your password, and then just click sign up for free. You can also sign in with, if you have an Office 365 account, or if you have a Google account, you can actually sign in with those as well. I am going to go to login because I already have a login for Edmodo, and I'm going to log in. This is how Edmodo looks. A lot of people our teachers think of Edmodo as an educational Facebook because it kind of looks like Facebook. You can like things, you can reply, you can post things. So if you ever heard of the educational Facebook, this is what they were talking about, is Edmodo. I'm going to go pretty much side by side to show you all of the features in Edmodo. So hello. So the first thing I want to do is to look under this tab, which is called Groups. This is where all of your classes will be held. So you see I either have a lot of classes or I'm a part of different classes. And some of these are actually for training, which I'm about to add another one right now. If you go down right here, you see you have a tab for managing groups, creating a group, or joining a group. If you were joining a group, that means you will have a group code. You can simply put in the group code right here. But we are going to look at it from the teacher side, and we're going to create a group. When you create a group, you're going to come up with whatever name you want your group to be called. So I'm just going to call mine, since I used to teach reading and ELA, I'm going to call mine Reading ELA First Period. You can either select a grade or you can select a range. So if I, teach pre-K to third, I can actually select a range. Oh, good. I have some people commenting that their children use it or they use it. So I'm just going to say I'm teaching 6th grade, represent middle school. Okay, so then you can also pick a subject area. So I'm just going to say language arts, that's fine. Then you can click a subject. I'm going to say English. You can kind of do whatever you want to right here. If you didn't want to pick anything, you don't have to. You can also change the color, and I'm going to show you where that color shows up, and then click create. Oh, because I have this little slash, so I'm going to put a dash instead. So it's asking me to invite people. I'm just going to exit off of this because I'm going to show you all that. So you see where this color is purple, that's where your color will come up at. And you see it is really good because you can color code your classes however you would like to do that. So now I have a class. You see my name is here, 6th grade language arts. That's all the criteria that I picked. And it's just waiting. Nothing's in here. It's just waiting for me to do something. So once I have my class, the first thing I'm going to show you is the little pencil. That's how you can change your color. So if I want to change my color to pink or a different color, I could. Next, you have your tabs right here. This is your post tab, and that's where we are now. It'll show, if we're comparing it to Facebook, this will be your wall. It'll show everything that people are commenting on, assignments, and things like that. Next, you have your folders, and we will get into this a little bit more when we get to our library. And next, you have your members. How many people are in your class, and the different things that you can do with your different members. Right now, I'm the only one in this class, and I am the owner. I'm going to actually give you a class code because if you are working on, another computer or anything like that, and you're actually working with me, you can join this class, and you can see it from the student's perspective. When you go to group settings, this is your public URL. So if you wanted to send this out, let me show you how that's going to look. So this is how your public URL will look. If they have messages here, it will show, but it doesn't allow anyone to get actually into your class. Right here is your post visibility. So you can say if you want to show your post on the home page, or if you want to be sent updates. And the biggest part of this is right down here where it says group code. This is the code that you would give out to your students for them to sign up. So if you are a person right now and you are working with me, you can definitely put in this group code. It's 3S as in Sam, X as in X-ray, Q as in Queen, 7, F as in Frank. So you can put in this group code where you were down here and it said join a group. You can put that in, and then you will become a part of my class. You also have a join URL. Thank you, Paula. You also have a join URL. I will tell you that you do not want to use this for the general public. It's actually illegal, not, quote unquote illegal, for you to use this on a public space with Edmodo. Why? It's because it's a little bit of a safety issue. You don't want just everybody in the general public to come into your class. So you don't use this unless you're actually sending it to an individual person to join your class. If you click on invite, you see it says, I'd like to invite you to join my class. And you can actually put in email addresses, or if the person is already in Edmodo, you can just put their name in and you can invite them. You can send this to them and invite them to join your class. So that's this section up here. I'm going to go back to post because that's what we're going to be playing with the most today. Over here, you see that you also have your group code right here. If I click, you can reset your group code. Why would you want to do that? Well, maybe your group code has just gotten out there and you start to see people that are not your students starting to join your class. You may want to go ahead and reset your group code. So it will give you a completely different group code and you can give out that new code. You also see lock group. So if I tell all my students, so I want you to make sure that you join our Edmodo class by Saturday. Once Sunday comes along, you can come here. Oh, Paula's in my group. You can come here and you can lock your group so no one else can join. You can always unlock it. So I'm going to go ahead and lock it just for a second. And you can always come here and unlock it. So Paula, if you don't mind putting in the new group code, we have a new group code because I locked it. So this one is 2, F as in Frank, C as in Charlie, H as in Harry, X as in X-ray, and Y as in your or Yuri. So anytime you lock it, you will get a new group code. So you see that Paula was able to put a message. Thank you very much, Paula. Paula's able to actually put a message on the on our wall, and that's what your students would be able to do to collaborate with each other. So you see I have Paula right here. She has joined my class and she joined it as another teacher, and that's completely fine. And William, I see that you've raised your hand and I'm about to get to your question in a second. Go ahead and type your question, William, so I can come and answer it. So you see Paula's joined my class. If you look right here where it says manage right by her name, I can actually make her a co-teacher in this class. So if I wanted her to actually have the rights to do everything that I can do, I can make her a co-teacher, or I can make her read only. So what does that mean? If Paula came in here and started writing just really nasty things, or see that Paula is just not being a good digital citizen, I could come here and just make her read only. So what that means is she will still be able to get the assignments, she'll still be able to do the work, she just wouldn't be able to post messages. So you don't have to remove them from the group because you still want them to get the work, but you no longer have access to actually write stuff on people's wall, well, my wall, and to comment to other people. And of course you can come here and remove them from the group. Progress tells you everything that Paula has done so far, which of course she hasn't done anything because I haven't assigned anything. So, oh look, we have other people, yay! Okay, so we have other people joining, which is awesome. Alright, so next what I'm going to do, now you see up here, you may be asking, well that looks a little different, it doesn't say reading ELA first period. Because I went out of my class, now I'm just on, and actually he probably didn't join mine, but now I'm just on the regular wall. I have to come over here and click the group that I want to be in. Yeah, just pause. So now I can click the group that I want to be in. Okay, so I've showed you that. Let me show you the apps over here, and then we'll get to the top, and then we'll get to assignments. So you see I have this big old block right here. Usually you would not have it if you've already connected to Google, which I haven't done with my account yet. So what do you do when you connect to Google? When you actually connect Edmodo with Google, you can use your Google Drive and all of your Google Apps for Education with Edmodo. This is just an amazing aspect that Edmodo just came out with maybe a couple of months ago. And it's amazing because now if you have your Google Drive and you're doing assignments with your students using Google Drive, now it's integrated with Edmodo. So you can actually take things from your Google Drive and put them in your library for Edmodo and use them for assignments. So all you would do is just hit connect with Google and you will be able to do that. Instead of going from the top down, I want to kind of just go right here in the middle and show you this, because this is another amazing feature that Edmodo just came out with. I'm going to say within the past month. They've been promoting it for a while, but it just became active. So what this is if you or your students do not have the Microsoft Office suite, which is Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, you now have it for free through Edmodo. I'm going to say that again because it's pretty amazing. If you or your students do not have Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, or Excel, you now have it for free just by going through your Edmodo account. So if you click right here on Office Online, you see that, and I don't have a personal Office 365 account. So this is all through Edmodo. You see that you have Word. I know free is amazing. So you see that you have Word Online, PowerPoint Online, and Excel Online. You can just click Word Online. It's going to ask you to name your file. I'm going to name it Delete. Create new file. And now I actually have Microsoft Word Online and I can just use Word. I don't have to buy Microsoft Word anymore. So if your students, you told them to do assignments at home and they said, well, I have a computer and I can get to the internet, but I don't have Microsoft Word. Well, now they do. You can tell them to go through their Edmodo account to use Microsoft Word. So I can use this just like a regular Microsoft Word. If I go to File, it's going to ask me, do I want to download a copy? If I download a copy, then that means that I am keeping this file for myself. Okay, you can download as a PDF. You can download as an ODT. So you have different options of where to download. If I was connected, I know it's amazing. So then, of course, you can print it and different things like that. So now you and your students have access to Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, and Microsoft Excel through Edmodo. Okay, the top icon is your Spotlight apps. So if you click that, if you have those apps and those, and this is in the beta, but if you have your apps and those Web 2.0 tools that you absolutely love and you wish that you can incorporate them with Edmodo, well, now you have the option to do that. So there's a lot like Edpuzzle. There's a lot of different apps that you can now incorporate with Edmodo directly. And you can just, it's almost like an app store. So you can go and you can search it. You can find the app that you want to use. You simply click on it. And then you can tell it to either share it on Edmodo, and then you will be able to use it on Edmodo. The next thing you have is the actual app launcher. So after you download apps, they will come right here. Next, you have your planner, which is your calendar for Edmodo. So you see I have things that are coming up in some of these classes that I'm in. Oh, and I completely forgot that William had a question. I am so sorry, William. Let me go to... So sorry. Let's see. Let me find William's question. I apologize, William. Okay, I'm not seeing your question, William. Did you type it in the chat box? Does this or can this take place of... Oh, take the place of Blackboard? I think so, William. That's just my opinion. But I honestly think so, because you can turn in assignments and all that just using Edmodo. So that's just my opinion. And of course, Blackboard you're paying for, and Edmodo is free. So once I show you everything that you can do with it, you can definitely make up your opinion about that. But I think so. So this is your calendar, and your students will have their own planner as well. That'll show when due dates are and things like that. Yeah, that's exactly what I just said. Blackboard is You have to pay for, and Edmodo is completely free. And then you have your monthly calendar. So you see I have different things that people, that was free is good. And you have everything on your calendar that you can see and plan for. So if you come right here to snapshot, we're still in the planner right now on the monthly view. So I'm going to come up here to snapshot. I'm going to create new snapshot. I apologize for that. And then where it says student groups, if they already have one there, I don't want that one, so I'm going to exit it out. And then I can actually, if I click on it, it's going to show me all the groups, but I can just start typing the group I want, and it's going to auto-populate. So I have reading ELA first period. I can click on that. I can tell it that I want ELA standards for grade 6. And now I have standards right here that they're going to put on the quiz for me. Right now, they have 12 questions that they estimate will take my students 20 minutes. So if I want to come here and say, well, I don't want this standard, I can just exit it out. Now I have 8 questions that they estimate is 15 minutes. And I can click here and add more standards. Now you see some standards are grayed out. If it's grayed out, that means they do not have questions for that standard just yet. But I can come up here and add the ones that they do have questions for, writing, and then I can click done. So you see now I have 16 questions that they estimate will take me 25 minutes. I can name my snapshot. I'm going to name this one English Tests for September 2nd. I can tell it when it's due. It's due on September 6th. I can tell it how much time I want to give the students to take it. So they estimate it's 25 minutes, but I can just say unlimited. I don't care how long they take. I can also, add a note, which would be more of like directions. Does Edmodo has anything for the GED? Right now, for what I'm showing you on the snapshot, is only ELA math, and it's only for, I'm thinking, 3rd through 12th grade. So I can do a note right here. That could be my directions. Remember to blah, 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 blah. You can come right here and hit student preview. This is how you can actually see the quiz and see what your students would see. You can either assign it now or you can plan it for later. So if I click assign now, it's going to say, okay, the snapshot is assigned. What do you want to do? Do you want to create a new one? Are you done? So I'm done. So I'm going to go back to my Edmodo. You saw I clicked on my face and clicked back to Edmodo. And now you see, I'm going to go ahead. Remember, if you don't see your class sitting up here, just go ahead and click on it in groups. And now you see I have my first assignment. If you are part of my class, then you will see this pop up in your Edmodo. You see everything that I put on it, standard, blah, 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 blah. It tells me how many students. As far as I know, there is no print for, unless you just bring it to a PDF and then print it yourself. Because the whole point of this is to be paperless. So you see that you can, but I do understand the, wanting to print it, definitely. Because it's a really, really nice feature. So you see you have your English test, you have everything right here. If students can actually comment on this if they want to. If I wanted to add different files or link to this, I can. And you see that it's telling me that no students have turned it in yet. So that's the amazing, amazing snapshot that you can actually do quizzes using your standards without you really having to do anything. Students take it online, you get the results online, everything is good to go. So I'm going to go back to our screen and see if we have any questions so far. And I won't forget to press resume this time. Do we have any questions? Okay, I see someone is typing. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back to it. I'm going to resume. All right, you should be seeing, shouldn't be frozen this time. Okay, so that's how you can do snapshot. Now let's look at how you can actually do your own assessments. So the first thing is a note. All a note is you writing on the wall. So if I wanted to say, welcome to our class, I can click send. So it has my note right here. If I wanted to say, hey guys, remember the test is tomorrow, I could do that and hit send, and you'll be on all of my students' walls. So this is just simply a note to your students. You see that right here, you can actually send it to more than one group at a time. Because if this is my reading ELA first period, 9 times out of 10, unless you're that lucky teacher that only teaches one class, you're going to have more than one class. So if I start typing reading right here, because I see I have a reading class, I can send it to them. I see I have a teen library council. I can send it to them. So, and I'm going to take them off if they may be active. So you see that you can send it to multiple groups. And then it will go on all of those groups' wall without you having to replicate it. You can also attach files. You can share website links, or you can add anything that you have in your library, and we will talk about your library. So if I want to attach a video or a picture or a file, I can do that. If you want to share a website link, you can do that. Why Walmart? I don't know, but you can attach it. Let me go ahead and attach a file as well so you can at least see how that looks. So you can see you can attach multiple things, and then if you had anything in your library, you can attach that as well. So when you're ready to send this, you can either send it now, or you can add, oh, I think my library one didn't attach. Oh, because I double clicked it. So you can send it now, or you can schedule your post, which is something I love, 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 love. So if I know I want to send this on Wednesday because I'm telling them about something that's due the next day, I can just schedule it here, schedule what time, and then put save date. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule this for today. It is 1:32, so I'll schedule it for 1:34, because now it's 1:33 p.m., and I'm going to say save date and time. Send. Oh, I didn't write a note. Okay, so you see it didn't post because I told it to post in the future. So when it's ready to post, we will see it here. The next thing is if you want to add an assignment. So what you can do under assignment title is you can just name it whatever you want to. So I'm going to name this reading passage. So if I have an actual assignment to load, I can get it from my library. If I have my Google Drive connected, I can also get it from my Google Drive. So it's up to you where your assignment comes from. Or if I don't want to actually load the assignment, I just want to put stuff right here, you can do that too. So I can come here and say, read the attached reading passage and answer the questions. So what I can do is I can actually attach a reading passage to it. I'm just picking random stuff. You can attach a reading passage to it, maybe attach some questions that you may want them to print out and bring back the next day, or I'm about to show you how to do a quiz. So you can actually attach that, and then you can send it or send later, And they have an assignment. So you can either load the assignment that you've already worked out, or you can just do it strictly from here. You can give it a due date. You can tell it what time it needs to be due, and you can send it. So you see, this was our post that we scheduled. Remember, I just put some random. So this was the post that we scheduled. You see that it did come through. I've never had one that didn't come through, to be completely honest with you. So you saw we had 3 different, we did a link, we did a file from the library, and we did a file. And then this is the reading passage. You see that no one has turned it in yet. It's not due till the 31st, but you shouldn't wait till the last minute. But no one has turned it in yet. And this is the reading passage that I sent to them. All electronic. All awesome. I'm going to skip quiz and go to poll. What a poll is a question that you want to ask your class, but you don't care about who answers what. You just want a consensus. So if I put a question like, are you happy? Or did you learn today? I can put my answer. I'm not going to let you answer no. And then I can also add several different answers. Of course, I can send it to whatever groups I want to send it to. And I can either post the poll now or send it later. That's the really good thing about Edmodo. Once you kind of learn where things are, it all kind of starts blending together. So you see I have my poll, are you happy? If somebody would answer, you'll see the results right here. I will not be able to see who answers what. I'll only be able to see the answers, and so will my students. So that's a quick poll. Snapshot is exactly what we did over here. It's just another place that you can get it. And you see ELA or math, same stuff. Now I'm going to go to quiz. If I want to actually create a quiz that I want my students to answer, this is where I would come. You can either load it from your library or your collection of quizzes, or you can create a fresh quiz. The thing that I love about Edmodo is that once you create a quiz, it goes into your collection. And some of you who are actually a part of the AIE program, this will look very familiar to you. So anytime you create a quiz, it becomes, you see I do a lot of training, so that's what these unassigned or untitled ones are. But it becomes part of your collection, and that's really good because if you want to reuse a quiz, even if you want to change some of the things about it, you don't have to redo or reinvent the wheel. You can just load it and then change and then reassign it. So I'm going to show you how to create a quiz in the first place. So when you go to create a quiz, you can name your quiz. You can tell it how many minutes you actually want to give your students to complete the quiz. If you leave it blank, it will always go to an hour, but you can kind of put whatever you want to. And then you come here and you start adding your questions. Yes, Quizlet is amazing. So you have multiple choice, true, false, short answer, fill in the blank, and matching. I'm about to say Quizlet. Edmodo can grade all of these for you except for short answer. So for short answer, you will have to come and actually assign that question points. And at this point, most of us are pretty used to that when we use electronic things. So we're going to click Add First Question. You see the number of the question is right here. I can tell it what kind of question. I'm just going to go ahead and choose multiple choice. And I'm going to just go ahead and leave it as 1 point each. So I can say, what day of the week is it? For your question, you can actually attach a link or something from your library. So I can say, you know, look at this website and tell me what day of the week it was in the passage. And I can put the link right here. You put your responses here. You have to put at least 2 responses, which makes complete sense because it's multiple choice. If you want to add a response, you simply come here and add it. You can set whichever one is your correct answer, which is very, very crucial to do. And then you can move on. If you want to add another question, you simply click the plus sign. I'm going to add a true-false question now. And you simply tell it whether the correct answer is true or false. You don't have to type in true or false because it's a true or false question. So Edmodo knows that that's the two answer choices. So I'm going to say that this is true. You can add another one. I'm going to make this a short answer. As you can see with short answer, you do not tell it what the correct answer is because Edmodo does not grade short answer. Fill in the blank. When you have a fill in the blank question, it tells you right here that you use an underscore to specify where the answer needs to go. So I would say the blank man went to the blank. So you see down here, it puts, this is how the question is going to look to the students. So it puts a blank anytime I put in an underscore. And I didn't put this big underscore. I just put one line for underscore, and then it does the rest for me. Down here, you would go ahead and tell it what the answers need to be. So I'm going to say the red man went to the store, whatever. You can also attach. Now, the thing with this one is, usually when I do a true-false question, I tell them in the question that, how do I put that? The answers have to be spelled correctly in order for you to get credit. I usually let them know that because, of course, Edmodo is grading it, so if they put READ for red, then that will be marked incorrect. You can change grades, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. Okay, I'm going to add another question, which is matching. So it says match each letter. I can add to those directions if I want to. And then you just put, red is a color. Chicken is an animal. So you just put, put them side by side so they can know what answer is correct. And then they will randomize it when the students see it. And you can add more. And you can see that it'll tell you, you can change that as well, how many points. You can also go to load. And what load does is it takes all of the questions that you have ever created, and you can actually load them into this quiz. So if you didn't want to load the actual, the whole quiz, but you had that really, really good question in the other quiz that you used, it will be sitting here and you can actually just load it. So I loaded this one from a quiz that I've done in the past. I can also remove the question if I no longer want it. And I can move the question around. So if I want number 4 to actually be number 2, I can move it and now it's number 2. You can preview the quiz that you've done. Uh-oh, where are the errors? The error is with number 2. Oh, I have to have at least 3. So let's say, I don't know, blue is a color too. Okay. So you can preview the quiz. This is what the students are going to see. So this is how the students would take the quiz, or they can click it right here to go. Alright, so then they can submit, and it always tells them if they didn't fill something out. So I'm going to say in preview. If I want to print the quiz, I can. Now, unfortunately, you can't do this for Snapshot, but you can do it for this. Oh, that's a good question. I will answer that in a second. Uh-oh, what did I do? Oh, I think I exited off and I didn't mean to. I'm too busy talking. I exited off my quiz before I could save it. But that's how you do a quiz. That's probably why I have so many untitled quizzes. So when you're done, you click done, which is not going to let me do because I don't have quiz questions. But you click done and then you can assign it. Right here, you see that you do have options that you can show the results to your students. So what that means is once they actually take the quiz, they can see, what they missed. And you can actually randomize the questions if you want to. You can also put in about this quiz, which will kind of just tell them about the quiz that you are actually assigning them. So I'm just going to load a couple of questions. All right, there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and assign this quiz. So I picked done. The quiz comes out right here. I can tell it the due date, when it's due. And this is important. Do you want it added to your grade book in Edmodo? And I'm going to show you about that in a second. So if you want it added to your grade book, you simply keep that checked. You can hit send or send later. Remember to tell it what classes you want it to be sent to. And now you have a quiz. When the students take it, it'll tell you how many people have turned it in, and you'll be good to go. Alright, so I've showed you all of the different things that you can use or assign to your students. In Edmodo, all of the things just come right here on the wall. So if your students are used to using Facebook, which, most of them think Facebook is dead right now. But if they're used to, oh, look at Paula. So if they're used to using Facebook, they can use this. Oh, I can't pick one Google tool. Are you crazy? I'll click Forms. All right, and that's an example of a poll. All right. So I've showed you everything on this side, except for one thing. I've showed you everything on this side. And I've showed you all of the little icons right here. Now I'm going to show you the top after I show you one more thing under groups. So when you're in your groups, I have, my 25 students, or if you're higher up, your 160 students in your classes. Now you also can come and create small groups. So if you have your students that you want to actually work in small groups, if you have your students that you want to give response to interventions to, just any reason that you would want a small group, you can come here to create small group. You can name it. Of course, you would never name it RTI, but I'm just going to name it RTI. And you see now I have an actual small group that I can assign members to. They're not automatically assigned because they want to know who do you want in this small group. So I can add members to the small group, or I can automatically add everybody, which doesn't make sense if you're doing a small group. So I can come and click the people I want. I can add them to my small group, and then they'll be here. And then now with this small group, even though I gave the quiz to you that had 25 questions, maybe I'll give the quiz to this group that only has, 10 questions. Or whatever you need to do to have a small group. So when I come up here and I'm assigning something, I can also assign it to my small group. And you saw how it had parents by it too. So you can assign it to the parents of the small group. The good thing about Edmodo where parents are involved is that they can actually see everything from a parent's perspective. So just like when you were creating your account, you can actually create an account as a parent. So you would give your group code, you would give them access, and they can be in here as a parent and kind of see what their students are doing. And what you need to assign to them, or if you have some, announcements just for your parents, you can assign it just to your parents. Okay, so let's look at the top. How do I get back to this once I'm in all of this other stuff? Is you come to your home. When you come to your home, this is your home page. Now, remember, if you don't see your class up here, so this is not my class page, but this is my home page. So I'm going to see posts. I'm sure people are wondering why I'm posting all kind of weird stuff. But I'm going to see posts from all the classes that I'm in. So you see I'm in the Edmodo Ambassador group, so I'm seeing posts from them. So you'll see everything. The next one is your progress. It looks like a little heartbeat. And what your progress is your grade book. When I first started using Edmodo, I would keep coming to this for my grade book. But no, your grade book is your progress. When you click on progress, it's going to ask you, well, what class do you want to see your grade book for? And I'm going to talk about badges in a second. So I want to see my grade book for reading ELA first period. So it's going to have all your students listed right here. It's going to show all of the assignments that you told to add to the grade book. And then you can actually click on the assignment. You can see what the class average is. If you view the assignment, you'll see what each person did, how many they got right, what questions they got wrong. And that's really important because you saw when I was up here, it shows you a list of questions, which is really good because if everybody gets number 3 wrong, then you need to reteach number 3. Let me show you a class that I actually have people in. So you see how it gives you all of the grades for it, and I'm just going to click on an assignment right quick. And you see how it gives you the answer choices and how many people. Number 8, I think, was one that I made a mistake on. And it shows you that. So, another thing with the quizzes, because I just mentioned that I made a mistake on a quiz. Once you assign the quiz and once at least one person answers, you cannot modify that quiz. That is a little, I would say, a con in Edmodo. So if you assign and you're like, oh, I made a mistake, you can go ahead and delete it and, correct the mistake and reassign it. But if if one person has already answered it, then you cannot redo that quiz. You can redo it the next time you assign it, but you can't redo it at that point. But what you can do, oh, this is not the right class. But what you can do is you can actually change your grade. So if Paula would have taken this quiz and she made whatever, but I know I made a mistake, if you just click on it, you can actually tell Edmodo what you want the grade to be. When they turn it in, you can tell it what you want the grade to be. If you want to view the work first, and you haven't already viewed it, of course, you can come here and see, oh, okay, well, I don't like what they did, blah, 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 blah. You can request resubmission, and you can tell them, this is horrible, resubmit it. Don't say that, but you can say that. And you can request it, and then you'll go back to them and tell them that they need to turn it in again, or you can just simply grade it. So you have different options. Also, when you go to an assignment, I'm going to click View Assignment. You can go to Assignment Detail and remember what the assignment was if it's been a while since you've assigned it. You can see how many people have turned it in and not turned it in, so you can kind of maybe send them a little reminder to do what they need to do. If you click here on Ungraded, you can actually click all your people and you can do a mass grading. I really like this. So if it was like a little participation assignment and you see everyone just kind of logged in and looked at it or saw it, and you really, there is no right or wrong, just if you tried it, that's good enough for me to give you 10 points. Then you can just click right here on the little check mark. It'll, what I want to say, it will check all of your students, and you can tell that give them all this grade. I love that. It's helped me in more than one situation. So now you see that she's been graded 10 out of 10. Everybody would be graded 10 out of 10 at that point. under badges, I know badges are kind of the hot new thing to assign badges to everyone for good work that they've done. So you can actually add a badge to the whole group, and if you kind of scroll over it, it'll show you. Or you can create your own badges. You can also come to each person and see their badges and assign just them a badge. So if you go to, excuse me, my student badges, you'll see the ones that Edmodo gives you. You can add your own, where it says add new badge. Give your badge a title, a description, upload whatever image, and please look at this because it does tell you what dimensions the image should be. And you can also share the badge with the other teachers that are connected to you. You can create it. You can have a whole bunch of cool badges for your classroom, badges with the verbiage of your classroom, you know, the Mitzi Titans or whatever. And you can add badges and your students will love you forever. You see? So those are the different things that you can do in the grade book of Edmodo. You can keep up with the grades and keep up with, and the parents can keep up with the grades, and the students can keep up with the grades. Next is your library. This is where everything that you upload to Edmodo lives. I used to just use Edmodo to send out flyers, so there's a lot of flyers in here. So this is where all of your things live. If you use OneDrive, you can connect your Office 365 OneDrive, and of course you can connect your Google Drive, and you can get to them right here without batting an eye. So you don't really have to take all your Google Drive stuff and put it in Edmodo. You just have an option to just click on Google Drive and you have it all here, which is amazing. You can also add files, of course, to your library. You don't have to add them through like a quiz or an assignment. If you know, and this is what we tell our new teachers that are new to Edmodo, if you know you have just a whole bunch of really, really good resources that you're going to want to use for your students in Edmodo one day, then just come and start adding stuff to your library. Now, of course, if that stuff is in Google Drive or OneDrive, you don't have to do that because you have access to it. But if it's just sitting on your computer, come and start adding folders. Okay? Start adding files because you know you're going to use it one day. You can also add links that you really love that you know you're going to want to assign to people. And then you have your quizzes, but they are in your My Quizzes folder, but you have a way that you can create a quiz from here. So you see you have different folders. This is My Quizzes folder, all the quizzes that I have created. I don't have any second. I think I just made that folder for a test. Yeah, so you have your different folders. These are all of my assignments that I've created in Edmodo. Some of them are worthless. Some of them are actually good. So that is your library. You can also search your library from here. Usually, honestly, I hardly ever go to here for my library because usually I only use my library when I'm assigning something. So it would be from the quiz or from the assignment page. But you do have it here that you can look at everything that you have from here. Now some of my more, and this is just a search tool to search whatever in Edmodo. Some of my more adventurous and leader educators would love Spotlight. So what Spotlight is, now you remember we have Spotlight apps over here, but this is just Spotlight. What Spotlight is a place where you can go to actually get assignments and give assignments. It's almost like a teacher pay teacher or teacher give teacher, because you can give away your really, really good work for free, or you can actually charge for it. So you see that you can look up, they have actually districts in here. You can look up grade level. I think I said I was middle school. You can look up the subject, middle school, 6th grade. And you have all types of good little assignments right here. I have a poetry introduction. And you see you can download it, or you can just directly share it on Edmodo. You can actually, the people that give stuff in Spotlight will ask you, and they absolutely love you to actually give comments on their stuff, because then you can look at who voted for it and see if it's a good tool to use. So you can add it to your Edmodo library. You can just share it with your group if you just know that it's really, really good. Or you can download it and look at it yourself on your computer. Oops, sorry. So if you want to actually add your own stuff to it, you can add a new resource. I actually can delete this. I did that for something else. But you can add a resource here, and you can actually sell stuff. So I'm not going to go too far into this, but this is stuff that you can do in Edmodo. I want to get back to Edmodo. Click on my picture. I'll just go back to Edmodo. The next thing are your notifications. So when people turn stuff in, if they have a question, if they've liked your stuff, this is almost like Facebook. All of your notifications are under here. So you can click it, you'll see, what people have done, what people are turning in, if they're late with stuff, all that good stuff. You can click see all, and you'll see them in this way. And then the next button is your account. So you can see if you have any invitations. You can invite. Your profile is where you can put your, what do you call that? Your biography, your picture. You can change all this information. Anytime you see a pencil, you can change it. For your settings, this is really important because I get people to ask me this a lot, is how can I change my email that I use to set up my Edmodo? So this is where you can come and change your email and change any of your information. You notice it's not like address and that kind of information. They don't need all that. It's mainly email. But you can save all of your information here. You can also come here to deactivate your account. And you see you have other options right here. All of them I won't click on, but this one is really important. So do you want an email every time all of this stuff happens? If you have an Edmodo that's really, really active with a whole bunch of students, you may not want an email. If you know you're going to come check your Edmodo all the time and use it all the time, you may not want an email every time somebody likes something. I usually only use my Edmodo with my adult groups, and we don't use it like rampantly, so I keep this all on so I can get emailed anytime someone does something. But if you're going to use it every day, you may want to rethink leaving all this on. Privacy, you can get connection requests, and what that means is somebody can go and look at your profile and say, hey, that seems like a good educator. I'm going to go ahead and connect with that educator. And what will happen is you'll get an email that says, hey, so-and-so wants to connect with you. And you can say yes or no. You can block those connection requests. Or you can only show your profile to your actual connections, and your profile won't be public. So this is very important. I can honestly say, excuse me, that I've never gotten a connection request that was like creepy. I've never gotten the like, you're cute connection request. It's all been professional and educational. Thank goodness. But you can definitely look at these privacy settings because they're important to see what you want to do. And applications, I've never revoked because I know so many applications work really good with Edmodo. So you can decide what you want to do with your third-party permissions. Edmodo has a great help center. I love it because you can search it instead of actually going to these different tools. You can just search what you're looking for and you'll get really, really good information about how to do whatever you're looking to do. And this is how you log out. I get that question a lot too because people use Edmodo on their on public devices to like sign in and see what their students are doing. So this is how you can log out. You probably won't have anything down here unless you're part of different groups in Edmodo or unless you're a district administrator, because they do have Edmodo can be set up for your entire district. And what that would do is that your school, you would set up schools for your entire district, and then the school for each school, they will have their own code. So they would sign into their school code, and they have different ways that they can actually share information. So it's really, really cool. And that's why I get so many questions about the email, because people will come and they'll do an Edmodo with their personal email, and then they're like, wait, but I want one with my school email, and I don't want more than one. So then they'll come and change it to their school email, and they can get on their school's account. You can have more than one. I have a school Edmodo, and a work Edmodo, and I have my personal Edmodo. So you absolutely can have more than one. There's no problem with that. Okay, so this is the bulk of Edmodo and how to use it. You do have different topics down here that you can actually, it's like grouping, and you can click on and see kind of what's happening with different educational tools in Edmodo. And you also have communities that you can join. There's even a conference. You saw EdmodoCon. There's a conference that happens every year with Edmodo. It's growing. It has grown and is growing so much. Even with this connection with Office and Google has been amazing. So that's Edmodo in a nutshell. You can actually connect with people. I told you about the connection, so you can actually try to connect with other people. And you have your help center down here as well. So that's Edmodo in a nutshell. I know we're going to end early. Your teacher network is, you can actually ask questions. I get questions all the time about just different aspects of Edmodo, and we try to answer each other. So you can ask the teacher network, oh, hey, I'm using Edmodo and I forgot how to add a student. Can you remind me how to do that? You can go to help, but you can also ask your teacher network. Okay, so that's how you use Edmodo. Let me go back to our screen. Okay, so do we have, I see multiple attendees typing. Do we have any questions? Okay, while you're typing, I do see a question that Maggie posted. And Maggie, I've actually asked Edmodo about this, about the multiple select question. And at this time, they do not have a multiple select. So they said that, they're thinking about it, and it's something that they are kind of talking about behind the scenes. But as of now, you can't select more than one answer. You're welcome. So yeah, because I did a training before, and I had that question, and they said they are thinking about it because people are saying for testing, that's what they would want. But what they suggested you do is, like, you put your answer for A, B, and C, and then D would be A and B. If you get what I'm saying. If you don't, I can show you. But of course, it's not the same as actually selecting multiple answers, but it's a way that you can do it for now. Oh, good, Maggie. So yeah, if that would work for now, that's the best way to do it. William, no, it doesn't. Your people, I mean, they sign, they sign up, and it's just depending on what your school and your district wants to do. Mitzi, I see your hand up. You can definitely just go ahead and type in your question. I'm answering all of them right now. Oh, Paula put a really good flip class group for Edmodo on the in the chat box. I agree, Sean. I mean, I have nothing to even say with that. I think Edmodo and Google Classroom are pretty much taking over the world with online classrooms. So, yeah. Mitzi was losing sound. I don't know if anybody else was losing sound. Oh, Maggie, don't apologize for questions. Sound was good for Maggie. Okay. For the 25 people in here, there's two things you need to do to actually get your credit and get your CLU. You're welcome. I honestly love Edmodo. I was kind of not afraid of it. I would hear about it, and I'm like, oh, I don't have time to set all this stuff up. Once I started using it, I'm like, it's super easy and it's free. And then when they incorporated Google and Office 365, I was done. I'm done. And once you start, or if you use Edmodo a lot, I will tell you that there are certification programs that you can actually be a certified trainer and an ambassador with Edmodo, so you may want to look into that as well. I'm sorry, I just completely got off track. For you to get credit for or get your CLU certificate, make sure that you sign in and that you do the evaluation. Thank you, Paula. Make sure that you sign in and you do the evaluation. How do you sign in and how do you do the evaluation is where you see the little pie that has web links to. You simply click on sign in and then click on browse to, and it will bring you there. And then you click on evaluation and you click on browse to, and it will bring you there. I will stay in the room even though we're going to be done in a second, so you can come and click on these two links. So don't worry about rushing yourself. As long as you're done by like 2:30, we're good. Nishang is right here on the screen. I don't know if I don't know. But I'll type it in the chat box. You may be on the phone. You have to click on another. I don't know why the sound was going in and out. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. Sign in. And when you sign in, please make sure you're signing into the right one. This is Edmodo Basics, and it is not I think the first one on there is about maker spaces. So make sure you're signing into the right one. We had two, what do you call that? Two webinars going on today. So make sure when you sign into the correct one. It's the second one. It's the one that says Edmodo Basics. So if you did sign into the wrong one, go back and sign into the right one. Okay, and thank you so much. We are done with Edmodo Basics. I love Edmodo too. We're done with Edmodo Basics for today. I appreciate you coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm going to stay in the room to make sure that everybody signed in to get their CLU certificate and that everyone can do the evaluation. And thank you so much. Big applause for all of you. I knew we would go over an hour, so I didn't want to just say it would be an hour. So I wanted to make sure we had time. But I don't think anyone's going to complain about getting off early. Yvette is the one that says Edmodo Basics. That's not the right one. Just scroll down to Edmodo Basics. Thank you, Maggie. No problem, Yvette. Just make sure y'all are signing into Edmodo Basics. Just scroll down. It's the second one. And when you're done, you can just click the red X in the top the right hand corner and you are done. Oh, good, Ashley. I'm glad I said that. No, Maggie, there's no reflection. As long as you sign in, you're good, and do the evaluation, you're good to go. All right, thank you guys again for coming.